Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with us today Ryan Kahan, who's the CEO of CallCabinet. Ryan, thank you for joining us today.
Always great to be with you, Doug.
Well, I'm really delighted that we're able to do a podcast not only with CallCabinet, which we love doing, but we're also able to this time serve our many Avaya readers. I think sometimes we ignore them. We should really have more content, more news, more offerings, more ideas for them. So I'm very pleased to say to the Avaya audience, this today at least we have great news and information for you. So before we dive into CallCabinet's Avaya story, Ryan, what is CallCabinet?
So, Doug, CallCabinet is a recording compliance and analytics company. We have solutions that really span the gambit from, predominantly cloud-based but hybrid on-prem solutions to record calls. We have, on-prem, hybrid, and cloud solutions to process those calls, and then obviously we add on to that analytics, screen capture, video, AI, and a whole number of additional add-on services that our customers utilize.
So, let's talk about Avaya today. You guys, I think, go back long ways with Avaya, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening today with that Avaya community, and if there's actually opportunities in that community to help customers?
Yeah, so we've seen a number of our customers in the Avaya space looking for new solutions, looking to migrate, maybe their call recording to the cloud, looking to provide analytics and insights into some of that data that they're already recording. And we see Avaya as a really important part of our growth and of our plans going forward. I think historically people have said, well, Avaya's sort of out there, but no one's really paying much attention because it's not the latest and greatest flavor out there. But for us, it is. It's just as important as everything else. The customers that are out there using Avaya are our customers. The number of contact centers that are using Avaya is still, sky high, and it really has a large base. And I think it's just been ignored and underestimated for a long time, and we're hoping to change that. We see a lot of our customers who may be using some of the newer technologies for their day-to-day communication. They may be using Teams or Cisco or something else, but their contact centers and some of the most important parts of their businesses are still very much running on Avaya.
And let's talk about that community even further. It's my understanding for a long time that Avaya customers like something that is certified, that's been looked at by Avaya, and they know will work.
Yeah, so obviously we're Avaya certified. We've been through the process. We've done all of the work that we need to, not only with the Avaya side of being certified, but also from the security and compliance side as well. So we're ISO 27001 certified. We make sure that not only can we record the data effectively, but the way we deal with it, the way we store it, is all up to industry and surpassing industry standards.
So, as Ryan, as you were mentioning, most of those Avaya environments today are mixed environments. So is that a hindrance or is it a natural evolution in the UC world?
So, our use case, or the driving force behind our product set is to allow our customers to record literally everything. We pride ourselves on recording and being certified on more platforms than any of our competitors globally. And why that's important is that we understood from an early time that customers are no longer using one system. Doug, when you and I started in this industry, it was exactly that. A customer would make a decision and they'd put a on-prem PBX in. They'd be very proud of it. They'd have to build a wing on their building to install all of the equipment, but they would make a decision. It was a Siemens, it was a Avaya, it was Cisco, and a number of other platforms. These days, most enterprise customers, which is really where we spend our most of our time, use multiple systems. It's not unusual for customers to be using Avaya in the contact center, Bloomberg turrets in their trading desks, Teams for their day-to-day communication, Slack for other communication. And what we do is we bring all of that together. So we record all of the various environments. We take that data, we normalize it, we store it based on where the customer's needs are for compliance or regulatory purposes. So we may have one customer who's got a contact center in the UK, and they want those calls stored in the UK, but they need to store their Teams conversations in Europe or in South Africa or in the US, and we have that all with one single pane of glass view. So ultimately, the customer logs into one place. They know that all of their calls are recorded and stored where they need to be, but they can search through everything and all of their data through one portal, one location. And then we normalize it. So either we're normalizing their data to allow them to get real insight into what that data is. And if they want it handed off to somewhere, it's obviously in a standardized format that, across the platforms, but also that we're able to give them real insights into what's happening in their contact centers and in their data. Compliance has always been a big driver for our community globally. And in some cases, it's a bit of a grudge purchase, like no one wants it, but they have to pay for it. Our thing is, how do we change that narrative? How do we really say to customers, listen, you've got all of this data, you're recording it for either security or compliance reasons. How about we turn it into a profit center? How about we actually get you some real value out of this thing that you're paying for, which is where all of our AI and analytics tools come into play.
So that's a good point while we're talking about the different platforms, that one of the things that CallCabinet's able to do is not just generate a bunch of data, but actually turn that data into something meaningful.
Yeah, 100%. So literally we can do agent evaluation, trend analysis over the entire contact center, look into really what's happening. So kind of things. Imagine you're an airline and you have a change in your frequent flyer program. The CEO may want to know, how did that change come across? How did it drive communication in our contact centers? What happened when we made that change? Was the overall impression negative or positive? And we're able to do that by leveraging AI and by leveraging the data that we already have for those individual customers.
And you just mentioned the magic word that everyone likes to talk about these days, AI. It's my understanding a lot of your products and services are AI assisted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Specifically around the analytics, components of it, we really use AI to give that insight not only into individual calls, but over large data sets. So anyone can turn around and say, well, let me give you an AI, take a call, put it into AI, and get a summary of that call. That's all great, but as the CEO, I don't want a summary of a call. I want to understand the impact across our business and across different divisions, and that's really where we focused our efforts. Utilizing AI.
So Ryan, it looks like you guys use the AI to take advantage of just what you said, that you're able to look at all the calls across the entire platform, and it's with AI. Are you able to do it almost in real time?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can really dive down deep into anything that is, affecting our customers, on a real time basis.
Now, you mentioned in passing in our discussion today that with these large enterprises using Avaya, there's a migration going on with data.
Right. So a lot of our customers, I'll use one of our recent deployments as a case in point. We've just done a deployment for around 3,000 channels. So I don't know how many seats that is, but it's a large contact center that had a requirement to use our cloud-based infrastructure, but store the recordings from a compliance perspective on-prem in their environment, and then to take portions of what we record and to push them to a third-party provider that was doing some upstream analysis of the calls. And we do all of that for, we did all of that for them. And in addition, we had some really specific use cases. So let's say that a call was, 20 minutes long. The first 5 minutes was not relevant. It may have been on hold time or, music on hold. And then the call was transferred to between three different agents, two of them which were targeted to send the data upstream. We would actually store the entire call from a compliance perspective, but then isolate those specific sections of the call that needed further analysis, to push them upstream. So we can do any of that and then mix that all in with any other type of recording, a platform that, that the customer has. So it's really about helping customers, record their data in the most effective way, to process it in the most effective way, and to get it to where they need it, as quickly as humanly possible.
So Ryan, turning to the Avaya partner community, you guys have some fresh ideas that community, the Avaya partners, are able to now take to their customers as we move into the bottom half of 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of our customers, and Avaya customers are looking for a solution that's cloud-based. No one wants to manage these old big servers sitting on-prem anymore. They're looking for new ideas, new technology to lower costs, to lower their security / compliance requirements, and that's what we help them with. So we will help them with a cloud migration strategy for their legacy on-prem call recording infrastructure that they have. In addition to that, we're helping them migrate the data from those legacy deployments. So a lot of our customers saying, hey, we've got 5 years or 10 terabytes or 100 terabytes worth of data that we no longer want to be able to have to maintain on-prem. How do we deal with that? How do we move that? What do we do with it? So we're sort of modernizing the call recording environment for the Avaya customer base and bringing it into the future. Doing things like analytics and AI and screen recording and video and all kinds of things, very difficult when you have an on-prem environment. And in order to enable our customers to leverage those newer technologies, we're helping them to migrate to the cloud. And in some instances, that's a complete cloud migration. In others, they may want to store data on-prem and have a hybrid type deployment. Some customers say, hey, we're happy with the cloud, but we want to use our cloud. How do we store the recordings in our Azure tenant or in our S3 container where we have ultimate control? We help with all of that. So regardless of what level they want, all the way from an on-prem deployment all the way through to 100% cloud, we have the solutions available to them.
Ryan, as we close up, it sounds like these solutions that you're offering for these, these are big undertakings, those big migrations aren't just kit bash solutions. They're not just thrown together, but it sounds like this is coherent and it really moves the company forward.
Yeah, enterprise customers are never one size fits all, and that's really where we focus. Every customer, especially in the enterprise space, has different requirements. Depending on industry, whether it's retail to banking to healthcare, every one of them has a different requirement, a different need, and we pride ourselves in having more tentacles or solutions into all of those different areas. So nothing is ultimately a problem. It's just a function of how they want to deploy it. And we have our teams that sit with customers, understand their needs, understand their business case, understand their usage. And yes, while we have cloud solutions that can deploy in minutes or seconds for that matter, we could literally have an Avaya contact center up and running the same day and recording 10,000 channels or whatever it needs to be without any major deployment downtime. There's obviously those customers that would want something more or something different, and that's where we excel.
Well, Ryan, I really want to thank you for joining us today. This has been really interesting. I'm so delighted we were able to provide for the Avaya community more information, more opportunities for the Avaya partners, great ideas for the Avaya enterprises. Where can we learn more about CallCabinet?
Always just callcabinet.com is probably the easiest way to go.
All right, I'm looking forward to our next podcast and learning more about CallCabinet. But for now, thanks very much.
Thank you.